All right, welcome,
Welcome back
welcome. Um, Day 2,
of the Dungeon 23 challenge.
episode 2. That lines up very nicely. Uh, I've gone through and tried to get some of the materials that were online and print them up into handy leaflets and stuff as we work through. So we'll be working with that for today, or maybe not all of that. We'll be working with that at least. Put that off to the side. All right. So we're going to be working with some leaflets today to do some generation. Have different generation methods that we are working with. But I have put the resources into like-minded groups so that it's easy for us to get around. All right. A lot of stuff there. I've found one of the fate charts that I use and print it out for probability and odds randomization. I have joined one of the, is it subreddits? I'm new to this Reddit business. I'm not
It's
a
a
Redditor.
subreddit.
Okay, yeah, great. So we're doing that in the subreddit and found some great like material in there already. And so not much more to see in here just yet. Although we are doing day 2, we are doing a hallway,
Hallway and room.
room 2. All right. Hallway to room 2. Lovely, very good. Oh, we should have introduced ourselves. You are,
Fiedling.
and I'm the old man weird. New title pending. Working on something every day until something sticks. Great, old man weird. So we're gonna do hallway and room 2 today. Okay. I was explaining to a young lad here, Weirdling Junior, as we were looking through that there are different methods for generation. I should bring out, who are we today? Where's yours? You gotta be yourself. Who am I? I'll be Draghi. Yeah, Draghi. Very good. I don't often get the Draghi. Not often Russian dwarf in game. Very like Play-Doh. Okay. Anyway, accents, voices aside. I was showing that there's different ways to generate. I have one of the books, For Against Darkness, obviously provides us with some great variety. One of the other resources has different different approaches, and we also have stuff like this for roll a D10 versus a D8, and we'll randomize the room layout as we go. I think that might be pertinent to some later stuff. We do have in mind at least where we're going today, I believe. So as you can see, we have ways to generate up this one here as well. I was discussing with him, this other leaflet is more dice rolling generator rather than looking through pictographs for inspiration. So this series of tables out of the fate system, fate random system, right? And also a couple other tables from some other books when we want to put random architecture and shrines and chapels and fairy healing circles into places. So we do have different methods to generate some stuff up, but today we're going to work out of this. We've already decided there's at least one trap in here today associated with the corridor, associated to the narrative of what's happening in the story so far. You've got a room with 3 guards. One of them uses the blood gate to escape through the locked door, runs off into that room, and there is a corridor. Now that's a trapped corridor. It will have different assumptions based on the state of play in an individual's game as to whether the guard gets away and can set the trap up and prime it, or whether it's constantly primed, whether the party has time to make active investigation and perception checks to try and find said trap. Yeah, sure. And the markers, we've already talked about how they're going to be set off. So we've tried to make them reasonably visible and approachable, at least at level 1 so far, right? We don't want to drop them into an endless void today.
Yet.
Yes. Draghi does not want to kill any player today. So, as we're going through and we're looking at, where is our book? Day 2 we're working on over here. Oh, I should say, I also went and found, like, the professionals would do it. We actually have symbols. Some of these we'll use, some we will adapt. Some are obviously better than anything we could come up with. But we're going to at least have a better resource for trying to identify what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
This is a better key than we could come up with, but we'll work with it. I don't know. It's all right. We'll get there, right? This is our first mega dungeon together,
True.
so we're learning as much about the process as what resources we have at hand anyway, right? Oh, I also so change logs very quickly. I have tidied up the work that we've done yesterday, and I have applied actual scaling here to what the room will look like in the setup at least a little bit. So I'll try and do this each day through each page, and then at the end of the block, the 5, 6, 7 room dungeonettes. We're going to put them together so that you can at least see them instead of just singular rooms. I'm going to try and do my best to have some artistic representation one day. Yeah. I might just... My dad's a rather good artist. I know he's very busy. He might charge me. He does Fiverr work for his poetry and stuff. But I might have to pay him for his artwork. Anyway, shout out to Dad. So this is what we've done. I've just described a very brief description here that here at the entrance we have 3 Elven guards at a large table. They guard the entrance to the deeper regions of the prison complex. Pretty straightforward?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get scribbling on the next page. So what I'll do is I'll hand it over to yourself. Move yourself somewhere so you're not going to get in the way. All right. Where's our tables we're working with? Move those ones out of the way. Give me all that junk.
The seat.
The void of paper lurkingness. All right. It may come back yet. All right. Okay. This is for you to work with. I will write some notes into here. I will be keeper of the paper supplements. Very good. Druggy will guard it. Lovely. So as we were looking through, and I was discussing this earlier,
we found one that we like.
One that looked most appropriate for what we wanted to do. Yeah, one that seemed to sort of speak to what we wanted to do here. That's this number 32. We're going to work with this design here. We like that because we have this door here that we can use from that room. We can extend this out somewhat, the length of this corridor. But the feature of this is that at the end of the first corridor, we're going, and the room we're going to be working on here, is going to be
like a briefing room.
Yeah, briefing room, officer's station, where they got a table, library, a bookcase, not a whole library. Oh my goodness. It's the TARDIS in there. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be working on today. The kicker of what we're doing is we're going to be doing at least one randomized trap. We're going to be putting a trap into this central corridor section here. It's going to have obvious, pseudo-obvious, difficulty 13-ish, 14-ish, pressure points. How would you describe them? Minecraft pressure. What are they? The stone.
Like stone buttons on just a stone wall.
Stone buttons on a stone wall. That's exactly what they are. Sure, great.
They blend in.
I couldn't have described something so overwhelmingly simple any easier, right? Yeah. So there's going to be one here, one off outside the other doors, and they're going to be regulating this central trap area. All right. So we're going to draw up the corridor first. On this side here, in the corner, we're going to have the corridor coming out. Can you draw the T? All right. You all right? Yes, yes. Yeah, you're going to make it into a H there. You've got to have enough room on the other side to get your H in. Remember, it's not to scale, any of this. It's just drawing it out. Later on, we can actually give dimensions to this. For example, you're probably looking at this being, well, I'd rather have these rooms be 10 foot wide. I'm thinking instead of just one singular 5 foot thing, I like my corridors to be a little bit wider in that sense. So we'll probably be working to a 10-foot room. So eventually this will be 10 foot across here, right? And we'll have those doors there. Okay. So we have to find out, I suppose. We'll do the trap first. Where's your pressure point buttons? One, yes. So that's one of the buttons that the guards can press, and it puts a timer into the system that allows you to walk through the area and past the pressure plate here. Yeah, the trap pressure plate without setting it off. It gives you a matter of, say, what's around 6 seconds, and to move through there, I mean, you might want to give it a minute even, just to be kind, you know. It may mean that if someone follows immediately afterwards, they might catch up. But it also means that
2 turns.
2 rounds.
Yeah, 2.
So that's about 12 seconds. You probably want to 12, 16, maybe. Okay. We can randomize this out, right? We can just take a D6, right? We'll say it happens within the first six rounds. That's only 36 seconds. That's a half a minute, right? Put them on the other side. Use it the other way. There you go. That to there. Oh, okay. 6. Okay, so it actually takes 6 rounds, right? So that's so we want you to write, let's see, over here, draw a little line like that, right in 6 rounds before the trap will be activated, no matter what. So it's assumed to be activated. This one here is the turn off switch. All right, so you're gonna have to write in here turn off switch to the 6 turns. All right, very good. Now, before we do the room, and while you're writing that out, I'm going to look at the trap generation table we got here. We should do the trap first. We're going to assume that the trapping mechanism, we're going to allow them at least 15 feet here before the trap comes down, all right? We want to take out the same on the other end. We want to have at least 15 feet here. 15 feet here. So all of this central section, this H, the center of the H here, from my perspective at least, will be affected by whatever the nature is of this trap. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. And the plate to set it off, if it is activated, is in the center here. So they can at least get a P. We'll give them a P here for a perception check. You're gonna have to write that in on the other page. All right? P equals perception check. All right? Because the idea of that is, if they've got a passive perception, and they can see well enough, when they come around that corner, into that room, already into the corridor, they're going to be able to see that that stone button, right? But say they don't have high enough passive perception, it at least gives them a chance when they walk into the corridor. They've got at least 10 feet or so to sort of say, all right, well, before I charge in, what's it look like? You know, maybe they'll see the seam of one of the traps before they trigger the plate around the corner. Maybe they'll see the button because they roll better than their passive, you know, right? So we can't have it just fall out and take everybody out from underneath them, all right? Oh yes, okay, yeah. So these these ones here are ultimately an immediate arm or an immediate cutoff.
Yeah.
These other buttons, okay. All right. We should generate a trap now. I think it was a D20 roll. Was it not?
Check.
Let me have a look. D20 roll.
Father.
All right, sure. You would like to place your mapping over here. Bring this over here. My hands wasn't even off that yet. Huh? You don't roll into someone's dice tray when they haven't even taken their hands off it. That's bad table manners. Oh my gosh. All right. I don't know if that was any better.
5.
I don't know if that worked
Can
out
you
any
see
better
that?
for us. I don't think that's gonna work. That's quicksand. Roll again. All right.
Okay.
Well, at least we should explain the context. With this fake system, using the context, you can have ordinary challenge in the first one. You could have easier challenge, so you roll less of the hazards, or you roll less dangerous traps. This is relative to whichever generating table you're working with. C in this one is C is less challenge. B in this one is additional challenge, and D is if you're looking to give them advanced levels. So we should actually decide rather than just rolling. Which of these?
Let's do B.
B is additional challenge. Okay, sure. So roll down that one, and we'll see again. D20. 20.
20. Can
Oh,
you see that?
this is the one where it's prescient avoidance. So if you're doing this as a solo storytelling adventure and you're trying to work out in the story what happens, you would say that this roll indicates that there was a trap, that the character or the hero found it and bypassed it in some way, and then you'd roll again to find out what kind of trap it is. So we still need to know what kind of trap it is.
7.
7. What does it give us? Blade trap. All right. Actually, you said you wanted to roll down the B. 6 or 7 down the B is a gas trap. So I take it the gas then in narrative, the gas comes out and what are we doing? We got it. Wait. Let's have a look. See if there's not a symbol over on the back of the book, right? For gas, at least gas trap or something like that. I mean, this is going to take a little while. Maybe not. I can skim read, right? Can you see gas traps anywhere in there? I don't see them on the first one. Here's some of the more natural stuff. No. Fire. We don't need fire. Grass. That I almost look like gas. No. I think gas is just draw a little cloud. You know how you draw
I
a
feel like
cloud?
we should just do like a trap symbol and then just
Okay.
describe the trap.
All right. Well, a trap symbol's very. Look at that. That's exciting. We just write a T there. So in the center here, like that. Don't fold the book, otherwise your page is gonna fall out. All right. So here, you just want to put your T for the trap. All right. We've got it across a center plate, at least a 10-foot wide corridor. We're looking at a pressure plate that is at least 5 foot wide that goes along there and lets off a gas trap. Are you enjoying drawing long lines? You could have just like drawn it over here and had a little line and go up here and just go trap and then write gas underneath it, Mr. Squiggle. You don't even know who Mr. Squiggle is, all right? This is going to be confounding. All right, great. So we have to then work out the severity of the gas trap.
Oh,
We
yeah.
said there's additional challenge. We have to roll some more dice. Okay.
Let's roll some dice.
This is going to be a Constitution save. All right. So wherever you've written that is right equals Constitution saves. We're probably going to look at for low levels, probably to give them a little bit of a challenge, probably somewhere around a 14. You know, this is a medium to high sort of situation, right? To avoid it. We don't want to make it too hard. Anything over a 17 at this level is going to be too hard, reasonably for your average person who doesn't have any points in Constitution, right? So we said we wanted B. We're rolling a D6. So we got a D6 for damage on a Constitution save. Constitution save equals 14. No. We don't have to roll it out. We just write 1d6. All right. We're getting 1d6 poison damage. Okay. Versus 14 DC Constitution save. That's what that is. All right. We've written that in. Very simple. All right. So to spot the trap here, these buttons, all right? So write down here the buttons. I want you to write down the DC for the buttons. So buttons first equals DC Probably, didn't we say 14 to see?
Yeah,
15 or
14.
something, right? 15 maybe to see. They're
I'll
not
do the
invisible.
buttons and the pressure.
And okay, so uh the general workmanship here is a 14 or a 15. Okay, very good. I was gonna say, where did Druggy disappear to? Druggy, where are you? All right. The T. How'd you go with that?
Oh, buttons and pressure plate.
Okay, so the DC 15. Did you say the spot? What did you write in there? No, okay, a perception. Yeah, okay. What did you write? Let me see how you're writing it. You really need to. I saw that before. Your writing last time with your spelling, we're gonna have to work on that. Perception doesn't have an S. That's a C right there. But anyway, we'll work on that later. Pressure has two S's. All right. The buttons and the pressure plate, perception 14 to see. They need probably a 17 to disable. All right. So an investigation 17 to disable. At that point, they are either disabled or someone can jam them. Maybe they work out that they can jam the pressure plate so that later on, subsequently, if they run on it, that it's not going to set it off.
17 in what? Investigation.
Yeah. I mean, you can use that in a number of different ways. There's a number of different ways that you can look at when it comes to disarming traps and where you're disarming them. I mean, they might want to say, the DM running the campaign, that the can see the pressure plate, but to disarm the trap itself, you don't touch the pressure plate. You actually go up and go to the funnel where the poison gas is coming from, right? And you stop it there at the outlet, like you jam it or you cover it so that it can't expel the gas. Right? That might have to be the way that it's solved, right? So not every trap or every one of these puzzles is going to have exactly the same solution. It's up for us to be able to
Determine.
no, we give them the setting and a guideline for what we want them to do, right? For what we're planning, right? And when I would run this later, I come back and go, all right, I put all that there. Now, what I want to do is actually generate how I would run it on the day when I got the characters there in front of me, right? And that may depend differently on who's actually playing in the group, and on what has happened, whether the guard got away, whether the person saw that someone might have seen them press the button, so they know to press the button, but they don't know how long the timer is on it,
Yeah.
right? So these are the things. I think we've done that, right? We've got our trap. We know what's gonna set it off. We have our buttons and pressure plate system. We know what the trap is. Moving on. I think we're up to the room.
Yeah.
Is it? All right. So this is the room we're working on over here, right? So this is the actual room for today. Room 2. All right. Over here. Okay. So. Well, we don't need to necessarily draw it anymore here, right? Because this room isn't essentially to be a bigger room. This is one that's going to have a table. It's going to have a table. It's going to have an officer. All right. So we've got an Elven. What was the one for enemy? Oh, that's right. We did the circle with the X underneath, right? So we've got an Elven officer there. You can write that in after. Just wait. And his table. He would have. Yeah, we were thinking about that. I suppose, you would say the equivalent to a CR1, something that a level group of a first level group, something that they can go toe to toe with. So if the other elves were half CRs, this is something closer to 1 CR, or if you wanted to make it challenging, you'd have 1 CR and perhaps he's holed up in there with an extra guy, right? So it's two, you could have 2 guys in there if you wanted to, right? And like I said, this scenario playing out might depend on, from the start, whether you went in there as a surprise. You could dispatch all the people in the original room ultra quietly. Could happen, right? They could get through the traps ultra quietly. Could happen. And could come in here and could bust through this room and find the officer in a meeting with one of the guards, not expecting for whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or under my assumed scenario where my existing group's already taken control of the city and they're sending some newly adventurers in there to just clear out what they think is from the guard is the prison complex. Uh, in that scenario, these guys could also just as easily have been holed up in there. The officers holed up in there with one of his favorite guys. They've made a pact together that when we get out of it, I'll buy you an extra drink. I don't know, God, whatever. You
What
know?
an officer do?
Well, I don't know. Officers, well, officers just I'll probably offer to pay them more, give them promotions, give them. I give you my favorite sword that I took off that orc in battle, right? You know, the one you've been looking at the whole time because you extra like and collect swords. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Something like that could be the scenario, quite reasonably. Okay, so we don't really need to put anything in here much more than we have the Elven. Elven has a V in it. This is one we're going to teach you now. Elven, E-L-V-E-N. Otherwise, it's Elfen, and that's an Indonesian name, right? Lady,
Okay.
it's a girl's name, Elfen. And I think that's with an F. Don't quote me. I'm not, I'm not personally Indonesian. Um, So we have an elven officer in there, possibly with another guard. He's got his table. Wait up. We need to put in. He's got a filing cabinet or something there of all the prisoner notes and names and stuff like that. And on the other side, he's probably got a bookcase there. So you can you could propagate that with lore, hints, different plot stuff, right? Or just put books in there that the PCs wouldn't care for anyway. And I suppose at the entrance to the room by the door, he's going to have a weapons rack. I mean, this is something else that they would
Yeah,
have, right?
like I don't know.
Well, they wouldn't have their Warhammer on them as they sit at their desk interviewing guards. Do you know what I mean? But they might keep their Warhammer and their shield off to the side there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that would become a point too. Do you is the officer in here ready? Is their weapon in the rack? Is it on them? If you surprise them and they're sitting down, they might only have their short sword on them. You see, that we gave to the other guards. They still might only have a short sword or a dagger on them. So we would probably think to add in here his equipment. So you might want to add down here and write down Elven officer, right? Their belongings. Okay, so we're gonna have to generate their belongings. So we've already said that the other guys had what, short sword.
Maybe this guy has like a long sword or maybe a rapier.
Well, okay, sure. So we can roll that out as a different weapon set. All right. Not necessarily that. It's more likely to be like you're right. It should be a rapier, a long sword, a short sword, or something like I said, a warhammer. Right. So just roll a d4. We'll just so what do we got here?
4 is a warhammer.
Sure, 4 is the off chance of the warhammer.
1 is
Short sword.
short sword.
Long
2
sword.
is long sword, and 3 is rapier.
Yeah, sure. Very rapier. All right, he's very fancy. Fancy guard. I mean, they use that dexterity bonus, right? Imagine how this turns out. That's lovely. Okay. So he's got a rapier on him. Is he dual wielding? Flip a coin. Is he dual wielding? Rapiers. Yeah. That's
No.
what. No.
No.
That's a
No.
tails for us, which is a no. All right. So he's just got a single rapier. All right. Sure.
Does he have a shield though?
Maybe. If he's not, he might have gone down the fighter line of having a duelist. You know what I mean? They get bonuses for just having a single-handed
Does
weapon.
he have a shield?
Oh.
No.
No. Okay, so he's a single rapier, fancy dancing fencer elf. Great. He also has
Does he have like a? Would he have a bow or something?
not like this in here. Those other guys might because they've got a little bit of a range. He's sitting here in this thing. He would not expect to be relying. He's probably very skilled with one. Perhaps maybe even in the actual weapons the in here, right, where we've the weapons rack. He might have one, so you could probably put that in the weapons rack. All right, so right weapons rack over here. Sure, we'll put a longbow in there. So he's got a rapier, a longbow. He's got oh my god, don't press so hard. They're just leads. Don't press so hard. You right? Have you worked this thing out yet? Oh my god. How are we 2022 and this kid can't use a pacer? All right, lovely work. Right there. Don't press so hard. He's got a long sword. Is that what you wrote in there? Okay, rack,
rack.
long sword. Yeah. He's got, not a long sword, sorry.
Bow.
Longbow in there. Alright, great. Um, flip me a coin. Does he have any magical arrows? Right? Flip me a coin. Okay.
No.
No, like, this coin's rigged, alright? This is the no coin. Wanna have fun? No. Alright, okay, he's got a longbow, he's got a rapier, he's got studded leather armor like the other guys. Is it any kind of magical armor? Ask our oracle, is it any kind of magical armor?
Is this magical?
Oh my god, you deserve that. Just flip it over here. Teach you how to flip a coin. Oh Jesus.
Yes, he has
Yes.
magical armor.
Alright, sure, so write that in. He's got magical studded leather armor. Alright, that's great. We can generate something up like that later. We don't have to worry about it. These are the little details. You can probably flip the coin and just ask 50-50, does he have one of the guards in there with him for whatever reason or not? I mean, that amplifies the nature of the threat at that point. You know what I mean?
Okay, does he have a guard or not? Yes, he does.
All right, so you just write Elven Commander, Elven Officer, +1. All right?
No, plus
Yeah, +1. Officer +1. Guard.
using the guards from.
Yeah, sure, same guard, sure, exactly. You wouldn't use anyone. They're like
Yeah.
half CR guards or whatever you want to lock them up to be.
Yeah.
You know. All right. So, what do we need other than?
Water.
Yeah, sip of water, sip of tea. All right, everybody, sip of tea. Okay. Do we need to do anything other than that? Oh, deciding. This door. Is it? It probably would be lockable, right?
Is it locked at this moment?
Like, yeah, I don't know. See, that's the thing. The office is obviously going to have the option to lock their door, especially if that's the room that the guard decide to flee into, right? To tell the officer to come get back up or something, right? So, do we want to start it out as just perma locked? That's the other thing. Whether it's just perma locked, where you have, you close the door and the latch locks behind us like now, or whether it has to be specifically locked, because that may make a difference, right?
Like
Whether it's
just a latch lock.
like it just no, that could be too easy. If it's just like a bolting lock, you mean just like the bolt goes across and then you pull it down and it's locked in. I'm thinking more like it's a locking mechanism and you need a specialized key to get in and out of the certain officer's room. I mean that
Key.
introduces an officer's key into
Yeah,
the.
like officer's key. Yeah.
We've already got blood keys. Do we need officer's keys as well? You know what I mean? So you've got blood keys for the major doors, but you want officer's keys for special areas.
Yeah.
All right.
But like just.
Sure. All right. Okay. So he might have there's key system. All right. Okay. So those doors lock themselves. All right. I mean, it's a prison. They have self-locking doors. They need extra keys. It makes sense. They're paranoid. They're elves. They're smart. They do these things. Right. Don't lose track of the extra keys. All right.
Don't lose track of the extra key.
So we're gonna have. Just write officer's keys, all right? And this is something that we're going to come back to, all right? And these will get into certain doors. I don't know if we need to make them break, like in shortage, you know what I mean? Like once you found one, you can unlock all of them, right?
Yeah,
or do you have to pick all their doors?
Let's make it so like they break after like 3 uses. They're not very.
But why would officers in a world then carry around? This is what you got to ask yourself. Why would they carry around keys that they know are going to break somehow? They've only got a limited. I mean, you could reasonably go to lengths to argue that because even in the real world we have time sensitive passwords or passwords that change every day or passwords that change after each lock, right? Like these are things that happen. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could make it like that, but you wouldn't say after every 3. You know what I mean? You'd probably say that they're frail. Okay.
Yeah.
So the officer's keys are frail, right? And when you use one, wait, equals when used, roll a d6, okay, and
On a 1 it breaks.
on a 1 breaks. right? And you got to find another key somewhere, all right? And there'll be so we got to propagate some of these doors in there, and we can put like weapons caches, magical item, stuff like that, special areas. Obviously some of the high security areas that need isolation, you know, singular isolation and stuff for dangerous prisoners. They're gonna need stuff like that. All right, sure.
With doors.
Okay, so all right, so we can assume that it's a self-locking door. So that's
Yeah.
where we put our L there from before, right? That one's got a locking door. Same one, that one's got a locking door otherwise, all right? Now, if they don't have the keys, these ones should be able to be broken into, all right? But I think it's going to be 21, like quite a high
Yeah.
thing, but you have to make it consistent, right? This is where you'd say these locking doors equal high DC. All right, you need something higher than a 20 to get in there. All right. There might be, like I
Maybe
said,
like a 22.
21 or 22 is quite reasonable. Anything over 25 is almost unreachable for a level 1 character outside of a natural crit. You know, right? And 30 is considered to be impossible at that level. You know what I mean, right?
I mean, if you got a nat 20 in your proficiency.
You need plus 10. You know what I mean? This is the thing. Even
Yeah.
if you're rolling that, it depends whether this is the thing about natural criticals, whether you have critical successes and critical fumbles. All right. Now, I don't operate like that, so it really depends on the DM then. Because then you could have a DC 30 on doors, every door, DC 30, but it means that if someone just every time they go up to it and they even use a spoon, if they roll a 20 and you've got critical successes, that they're
Yeah.
going to always succeed, right?
True.
And you don't necessarily want that. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. So I think we've done everything there here. We've discussed the entry door. Let's see, where's Draghi? All right. Bring it over. Bring our thing over. I don't know if we have to roll anything else today here.
No, I don't think so.
All right. So we've got ourselves our H corridor. Try and move it in closer. Ourselves our H corridor, which has a gas trap in it now that can be seen. There'll probably be, because that's the thing, if it's gas traps in this area, there's going to be different little outlets and vents that's going to set off where they're coming from, you see. So that's if someone has a good enough perception roll, even at this 15 feet point, they're going to be able to identify, say they are here, X marking the spot for a second, they'll be able to see like this
The
little
vent.
top vent. Yeah. So then they'll have to investigate, and that'll put them on awares or not. All
But
right.
would these doors be like airtight though?
No, because the gas is meant to sort of go out and then dissipate, right? It doesn't fill up the whole thing, and it's not put out at such a. This is kind of like fluid physics, right? It depends on how fast it's pushed out, right? If it's just pushed out at a certain rate that it fills up into an area and then like dissipates afterwards because the spread isn't strong enough, then it can't really go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
If you could per se have a door open and have someone with a gust spell or something pushing through that space and it was operating, then of course you could push that away, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are things that work like that. There's spells that work like that with moving wind and stuff and manipulating that. So even that could be one way that the party gets around it. If they've sprung it and they don't know how to disable it, they may be able to wind gust it away long enough that they can move through the passage. And they may have to do that 2 or 3 times, you know what I mean? But that's the...
You never know.
Yeah, you never know, all right? But aside from our musings, we have a passage, we have a room, we have now got locking door systems that we can put in place.
With officers'
Officers' keys through the insides of these complexes that have a reasonable fragility to them. And we also have the trap set out. I think it's visible enough. I think it's well telegraphed enough. I think there's ways that the DM and players can interact with it so that it's not going to just catch anyone off guards the second they walk into that central space there, right?
Yeah.
I think we've done enough with the room. I think possibly can propagate some other stuff. Oh, we need to roll gold for this guy. What did we have last time? A D4, a D6, and a D20, right?
Yep.
So I think this time, because it's one of the officers and a friend, all right? I think
2d6.
yeah, 2d6 plus 1 will be the amount of gold, All right.
No, wasn't it 1d4?
Because I'm giving him extra money. No, but we're giving him extra money. Plus, it's an officer in his room. All right. So this is so whoever's 2d6 plus one. Plus one.
So that's 8 gold.
Sure. Good.
There's 8 gold.
All right. So the officer has 8 gold, and we'll give the other guy. We'll give him a d4 of his own. All right. So we're gonna say this guy, Elven officer, has 8g. Go on. I would like. Oh yeah, just 1d6, just for the guy. D4. Where's your d4? You haven't got one yet? Oh, you do. 2.
2.
All right, sure. So, where's his friend, the +1? Where'd we write this here? +1. He has 2. All right, silver was a d6, and we'll give the officer a d8. All right.
A d8 plus 1.
Yeah, sure. Let's give him lots. Ooh. I don't like that. This is the beauty of being the DM. One silver is not enough. Even 2 silver is not enough. I'm gonna roll this time. It's my turn. I get to roll 2. Look at that. 4. See, that's what you do it.
5 gold.
No,
Gold, silver.
5 silver.
There's more gold than silver.
All right. Now we're gonna do it for the
Plus 1.
for the +1.
5 silver.
Sure, 5 silver. Now we're gonna do the coppers.
For the officer, let's do a d20.
Well,
And-
well, yeah, we can give him 2 d20. You got another d20 there? Yeah, sure. He's got lots of copper on him. They add up really quickly. He's probably annoyed. It's kind of like when you got a whole heap of change in your pocket, right? Nobody wants copper. But it is probably really good for games of poker, right? And table games, because it's a good betting quantity. All right?
And knocking people out.
Sure. Give me 2 d20. All right.
18.
Plus 9 is
27.
yes, very good. 27. 27. And just give this guy 1. All right. 18. Great. 27. All right, so officer has 8 gold, 5 silver, and 27 copper. And the +1 has 2 gold, 5 silver, and 18 copper. Now, we're not sure if that guard, the one that is a +1, is the one that runs into. You could find a situation where, depending on who wants to run this setting, that +1 is already in there, so someone running in. But my assumption is, and we're following the guard, my assumption is that the guard is going to run through here and get to this other setting and open this one here. Go through this locked door on the more northern eastern side. Because on the northern eastern side, past there is the larger room that's leading into the rest of the rooms for our dungeon setting, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So behind that, at the end, is our assumed mini boss, which is going to be the guy who is in charge of this entryway, the entry
warden.
part, right? The original warden, the first warden, anyway. Okay. Maybe later on we'll have to draw up some hierarchy of these officers, right, and give them actual names and titles. Okay. Sure,
Maybe.
but for now,
That's
yeah, homework. We all love homework. All right, so yeah, so my assumption is that the guard that originally opened this door, that runs through here, sets up the traps, escapes up this northeastern corridor, and is trying to get deeper into where the warden. So the warden is this way, and will be like, well, works. He's going to have an office himself, but he's going to have a room or 2 before that. There the warden. All right, great. Do we need to do anything else? I don't think so. We keep coming back to it and sort of just adding more. I think that's all we really need to do for now, right? We've got a good page. I'll come back and tidy this up over here later on, and we'll see what we're working with. All right, where's your... Are we saying goodbye already? I should write up... Oh, I haven't really written up into here what we did here. 4-way plus room 2. 4-way has gas trap. All right. And room 2 has officer and +1. Anything else we need to make note of that? We've got all of the actual details in the drawing itself. I think that's what we've done.
Yeah.
All right. Was it weird? Was it weird enough for you? I don't know. 50% weird.
Something, I don't know.
I think you're 50% weird right now. All right. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for stick around. Tune into channel. Watch much more. Horrible accent. Yeah, please. Very good.